this looks like
email.
Yeah.
You know,
I said this stuff, I think
so all that stuff comes in the
you're on a
play.
corner property
What are you
over
talking
there,
about
your
that kind of
house,
money?
750,000.
Yeah, it's
Your school tax is
No.
$30,000.
No, when you first started, I'm thinking, I don't think you want to get involved in that.
$30,000.
I mean, it'd be cool, you could do anything with it, but
oh yeah.
do anything with a lot of
And
things.
you're
you have
coming
money
to bitch
for.
about the $288 tax bill.
I think they would have been less likely.
And Axon, they're even cooler stuff like, they don't have it where
I get it.
if you want
I get
to
it
your
too.
taser or turn it on,
I mean, in the
it
big scheme of
activates, like if it's
things,
not activated,
$1 million house,
it activates yours if you pull your gun out of a holster. It
And it's not like
activates
they
it,
didn't
and
know
anybody
that
that's
they
near
could
you activates theirs too.
there's people up in
Like, they're
Burkeville
coming
and
out
Creek
with all
Road that don't
kinds
even
of
have one
crazy
like close to them either. They're paying tax 130 feet.
But you're gonna pay for that,
Oh, yeah.
with big money in that.
Brian?
Okay. Let's call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a sign-in sheet? Nobody here. Okay, approval of the minutes from the April 13th.
Did you see it?
No, look at me.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, police report.
Police report for April 2026. Richmond Township, 191 incidents, 26 crash investigations, issued 12 traffic citations, 2 criminal arrests, 9 UCR reportable crimes, 52 traffic stops, and 98 hours of criminal investigation follow-up, and 14 hours of court. We handled, for Richmond Township, the homicide by vehicle, sex offense, DUI crash, disorderly conduct, 2 of those, 3 harassments, and illegal dumping. We made arrests for the homicide by vehicle, harassments, and DUI. Personnel, the only other thing I have is the 1 new full-timer and 2 new part-time hires to start working, and they're currently in our departments at the program. So, anybody have any questions?
You have any plans to do speed control 222, at the end of the bypass there?
Yeah, we've done it.
Kind of,
Yeah, this year a couple times already. Yeah,
the more the merrier.
yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
They've been running, if I understand, they've been running more at nighttime, coming off the bypass. During the daytime, the later shifts have been out there a couple times this year, running MRAD.
Yeah.
So, and they're getting speeds, even then, they're getting speeds in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, the merge point there is just
Yeah.
crazy. As you know, by the amount of accidents there, it's,
Yeah, agreed.
okay, I just wanted to.
Yep, no, that's probably, the township is probably one of the roads we hit probably more than most, so.
Good.
Just because of the issues,
Yeah.
coming off that bypass.
Hopefully that changes if and when they ever get this new road.
I'm thinking we'll all be retired by the time that happens with PennDOT involved, but that's just my personal opinion, obviously, but yeah, I know it'd be nice to see that fixed, for sure. So, but we'll keep at it for you.
And you still gotta set up the radar on the road.
Yeah, they're still using NRAD. So they put their vest on and they frogger. Get across the hall, the highway and back, but they do it pretty safely. We figured out over the years to be as safe as we can about it, but it is what it is. That gives us the best and the most accurate speeds, especially at nighttime, that's really the only option.
Yeah.
So, but it's accurate, it works really well. And we get a good accurate speed on these cars, so it's hard to challenge it. It's harder to challenge it. So,
Especially at 80.
yeah.
What is the new road gonna do?
It's gonna be 4-lane. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a barrier down the middle, so it'll be a divided 4 lanes. So you won't be able to turn the shoulder there anymore, or Kempson. You'll have to go up to the circle. But it'll not only be 4 lane, but you'll have a nice wide shoulder there for the horse and buggy traffic, which that's nuts. I mean, there's no shoulder there.
Agreed. That'd be nice to see.
That's an accident waiting to happen.
Especially right there where Emergence that is.
Oh, yeah, right, the country club there.
Yeah. I can tell you, we get disabled vehicles there sometimes for some reason. People run out of gas in there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't. And even us, we hate sitting there.
Oh,
Your head's on a swivel, man. You just can't wait to get out of there, because
those
it's.
people have no mercy when they come off that line.
I was up on the bypass, last week, the end of last week, just south of the, Crystal Cave Road. And, people are supposed to move over, slow down. Guy was out changing his tire, pulled up behind him, make sure, give him whatever, the best I could and help them out, trying to get them out of there faster. But, those people, half of them didn't move over, and the other half could have cared less about slowing down.
So it's
So,
a race to get ahead.
yeah, and to nowhere.
Exactly.
Everyone's in a hurry for nothing. We see it all the time. We don't understand it, but so it's definitely not one of the safer highways. That's for sure.
So at least a little more presence there might discourage them a little bit.
We keep at it.
Anything would be helpful.
We got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. Anything else you got?
No, we're good.
Would you be willing to bring your new trainers or trainees around so we can meet, so we know who they are on the street? So Tuesday night, just have us swing by, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll meet and greet quick.
We can do that.
Cool.
Sure.
All right, code enforcement from April 26th.
Anything else?
So Jeff, as you
Yeah,
know,
Jeff.
is not here. This is the best we can do for a substitute. So I'll just run down through his report quick. And in that report, there were 7 permits issued, construction value of $261,000 and change. That was included 28 building inspections for the month and 2 property maintenance issues. The permit summary had 2 accessory structures, 2 zoning permits, some repair and replacement, electrical permit, zoning permit, and a roof. Some of the enforcement activities included 11 Farmers Drive, just an update on that. We did have a meeting with the property owner as well as who looks like will be leasing the property. And they do want to have an area for truck parking. The short of it is they're going through zoning hearing board because it needs a conditional approval for the use for that truck parking. Once they're through that, I believe they'd be looking for, I can't say exactly which direction they go, but they were encouraged to come back and discuss with the board of the land development if they are pursuing the same plan. But as you know, the same property going through the land development before. The good thing here is they actually reached out to the previous engineering surveying firm, and they are working with them, knowing they already had a plan and everything together. So actually kind of worked out nice there that they had that connection with somebody who had a lot of background information. So I think you'll see them going to the zoning hearing board very soon, but that's about it for right now. We'll see what they get after that. There is, I believe the zoning hearing board was scheduled for the Old Order Mennonite Church. Does that sound right, Jen?
What happened with that?
Yes, that was approved.
It was approved.
Yes.
Sorry.
I didn't read the actual, the packet, but I did hear from Alex that it was approved.
Yeah, I think they just had a shed that was at the back of the property. They wanted to move towards the property boundary a little closer. It was going into the backyard, so that's what they got the relief from. They have a small addition that they're doing to the church as well, now that that's through. We did look at that. The amount of improvements did not warrant land development for what they're planning on doing. Some bathroom improvements they have to go through for approvals, but just an update on that. The 188 Forge Hill Road, not 100% familiar. I think that was the structure for the horses, I believe. There's a horse pen. There's been some ongoing contact with the property owner. It seems that has kind of come to a head and there hasn't been any movement on it. I think our office is in contact with the solicitor's office.
Yeah, I know Michelle Mayfield's working on that.
Yeah, I think they're moving towards the citation for that because there hasn't been any action. So, I don't know if there was any other ones to update here. There was, the 187 Meeting Creek, there was a condemnation on that property for the house. And I think they're working with the family directly before, trying to move forward with that. I know whoever was in the house was living with family down in Florida, and until they came back, they weren't proceeding with that condemnation, but I think that is now. Any deeper details on that, I might have to look into it, but,
That's the one that the fire company couldn't get.
that was 444 Main Street. And they weren't sure if the fire company was able to help. I think that was where there's, oh, no, I'm sorry. You're right. I was jumping ahead to the next one. Yeah, that was the one that the fire company did go to.
I didn't even know there's anything down back there. It's up on top of the hill behind the row of houses when you come past the church up on the left. I guess it sits down there in the back. It was not in good shape.
Didn't know it existed.
Didn't not till the fire company told us.
That's a heck of a way to find it.
Yeah, I don't think there was heat or water or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, my,
It's not good.
primitive.
Primitive. Primitive for sure.
The only other one there was the 444 Main Street. That was the one where there was some,
I think he was a veteran.
yeah, he was a veteran, and before it moved towards citation, that I think there was some of the fire company was willing to try to reach out and see if they could help them. And if it was an issue they could help take care of instead of moving towards a citation, do so. Did not have an update on whether or not that did. Jeff, when I talked to him tonight, said he was going to try to swing past there before the meeting, and obviously wasn't going to get there. So
I didn't
There-
see no movement.
No, there's been no contact to me about it. So.
Yeah, there's unlicensed vehicles there, the roof is not good, and I don't know the veteran status with it. I just think there's some issues there with it.
yeah, I think at the last meeting,
Walnut
one of the
Town.
volunteers was
Oh.
Yeah, that was-
offering to try to.
Yeah, Tyson,
Go out
I
and
think
help.
it was, had mentioned that they were gonna try to see if they can get a hold of him and help him out, because he was a veteran.
Yeah, if it doesn't get addressed, I know they're doing different patrols for different aspects of projects that are out there. They're doing that this week. I'll make sure that Jeff and the others are aware that they take a look at this, and if it hasn't progressed, see what they need to go with that. But
It's been a prolonged problem for quite a long time. And I didn't have no idea until it was brought to my attention by the neighbors. They're like, this is bad.
Okay.
So the roof's, part of the roof is missing, and it's not good.
All right. Well, then if there's not, I'll have them double check to see if the volunteers were able to do anything. If not, then I guess we'll just proceed with what needs to be done there.
All right. SEO report. And then it says here, motion to approve sewage planning module. Do we have that?
That's the one I spoke to you about this morning, sewage planning module for, Walbert, for lot one.
Yeah, so,
Is that Crystal Bay Road? Is that another?
no, this is the,
Oh, I'm sorry, I put the wrong one down there, I apologize.
Sorry, because that's, I don't know what Crystal Bay Road subdivision is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was the wrong one, that should have been Walbert, my apologies.
yeah, the subdivision off of the Walbert Funeral Home has that extra lot. It's good, basically gonna sit behind the detention pond that's right along the road. For their sewage module, they did go out to the inspections, coordinate with the property owner. Brad Flume was more concerned with signing off on that as the planning commission member. It allows for the township engineer to do so, so we're gonna coordinate with their office. Can proceed with that if it needs to be. So I don't know if they needed a,
Do we, yes, we don't want to, I think those module sign-offs are administrative. I don't know that they need any official action by the Board of Supervisors.
okay.
So, not 100% on that, but I don't think they do need supervisor approval.
I think, yeah, then I
Okay,
think if LTL is okay with it, then you can coordinate with Jen. Just
Okay.
have- I think she has to sign it for it. But I- yeah.
Okay.
But we, just to make sure we're covered, why don't we ask for a motion to authorize Jen to sign off on behalf of the township, provided that the SEO and the township engineer determine that everything is in order.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
And I think we're covered.
Okay.
Virginville Fire Company report. Anything that stands out, Mark?
The biggest thing is, the 30th, as it states in my, email that was provided. We are going over to the burn center. Most of our staff will be over there, most of the day. We are going over with more of our southern region, people with, Shoemakersville, Leesport, since we also share that side with them. They're partaking in it with us. So we're planning on, at least the ladder will be definitely going over. So that'll be out of service, but there should be ample coverage with that being out of the area. There will be some staff remaining, but it will be light for us that day for sure.
So how many people do you think will go to train from Virginville?
Right now, we're looking at about 12 people from our station. Overall, with everybody that's signed up, between the stations that we're taking along with us, we're looking at about 45 people total. And that's a live fire evolution. We're gonna be going in and doing that, doing that evolution during that morning time.
Okay, very good. We requested a truck payment release, so I'll make a motion that we approve the truck payment.
I'll second.
All in favor?
This is very detailed.
Yeah, so that's a new reporting system that has taken effect. It started rolling out in the middle of February, so the end of the year report will be a little bit skewed because we won't have January's data in there from this year. But the new reporting system is a lot more detailed on what the actual cause of what calls we're being called to. The outcome might not be exactly what those calls were, but my direction to the staff is that whatever we are called for is what we are putting in. The outcome is going to be what the outcome is. This way we know what we're actually getting dispatched for.
I like it.
If you guys do want some other reports, there's, I don't know, 5,000 different reports I can try to run on that system. So it's a lot, it can go into great detail. So,
This is quite good.
okay.
I like the financial reporting you guys do every month. I think that is just tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, we're an open book, you know, we've been, for the past 6 years since I took over, we've been,
Follow everything.
Yep.
Everything seems good that you can follow if it's accounted for, if it's reasonable. That's a big help for me.
and then with the 30th, we are going to be providing lunch for everybody that goes, just pizzas, whatever. That's a little camaraderie afterwards. So you might see that in the report next month. So
You guys did a good job.
that's what our plan is for the
I
30th.
don't have an issue with anything. Do you know how, I mean, is this your only truck payment?
Yeah, so we went to a quarterly truck payment to lower our interest rate on the ladder truck because we're still paying on that one. Everything else we own, all the other apparatus in the building.
So do you know how long this goes yet?
I want to say another 4 years for sure. I know when we refinanced, we were around 500,000. So in every year we take about 1,000 off, 100,000 off. So give or take, it's about 88 something that we pay a year on it.
Yeah, very good.
Any questions from me?
I think so.
Okay.
Thanks for all your help. They're working, to help guide Walnut Town a little bit too in the transition. I did meet with Walnut Town, their leadership, and got numbers and different things. I've been in touch with them. You know, we're gonna continue on with the, working with the state to try and update the run cards and trying to get a little better plan together, working together with Fleetwood and Walnut Town and Virginville. We just hit the pause button here with this tragedy, so the next one's June, but we're gonna discuss it, maybe we push it off a month or two and let them get their feet under it.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
So, yeah. I don't see one now.
There was no report this morning.
Okay. Lifeline is copied in ambulance reports. Seems like it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, pretty much. Amazing.
Engineers report.
So the only real action on this so far was, or for this month, I'm sorry, is Mertz Road. We did have a meeting with them. The basis of that was Mertz Road and the damage that we believe was done to the shoulder. So we had an estimate provided, discussed that estimate with them, and to close out that permit, we agreed upon they would rather have provided a fee in lieu of doing the work, just simply to provide that, let the township do the work. We weren't necessarily having that road on the list this year, so instead of trying to rush a repair that may not be the solution we go with in the end. Once that amount or the letter there is received, then we will consider that permit closed. And again, that permit was just for Mertz Road. They're supposed to use one entrance, and as you know, it was the entire side of the road for the most part. Other than that, we have not heard much back from them on trying to close out the site or trying to square away on the agreement we have with, I think Chris was taking care of the overpayment, or sorry, the cost overrun for what was done on Weaver Road. A couple other items.
We have a Weaver's Road draft agreement, and I was just holding off until the Mertz Road issue was resolved. I mean, I'd still like to see them both happen simultaneously, but it sounds like we'll wait for follow-up from DEPCOM on the Mertz Road payment, and then we can wrap up the Lion Solar or Heelstone payment on Weaver Road. I mean, they've already committed to it. It's just a matter of, crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
Where the repairs, you ready on Weaver?
Yes.
Yeah, it's, we got an initial payment from them, township did the work, there was a little bit of a cost overrun.
Yeah.
And so it's only a couple $1,000.
Yeah, I don't,
$2,000.
I was gonna say 2,000 or less, but
Yeah,
I mean, I can move ahead with that if you're ready, because initially I thought we might add the two roads to one agreement, but as it turns out, Heelstone is gonna pay for one, DEPCOM is gonna pay for the other, so it's not gonna be in one agreement. So, I don't have that agreement in front of me, and it's not on the agenda. Why don't we put that on the agenda next month for approval of the Weaver Road
okay.
overrun agreement to be approved by the board. And we'll wrap that up.
I think Andy Miller, when he was here, the attorney verbally agreed to that adjustment to the Weaver Road part of it anyway.
Yeah, that's ready to go. It was just a matter of, I was, waiting to see what happens with the other road.
Yeah, until last month, we brought up the modifications to the last pond, if you will, before it leaves the site. Again, Andy was gonna take that back to his group, talk about it and let us know, but I haven't heard anything. I can reach out after the meeting here, send him an email just asking for an update on this, or the schedule would probably be a better way of saying it.
Yeah, if you can get an idea when they're gonna put that work plate on that.
Yeah. Yep, I know that the conservation district and them are kind of going back and forth on one of the ponds, the two off to the side, if you would, closest to their station and then closest to Floyd's property. Yeah, they infiltrated, they just, it's
They're
not,
not seeping.
had on and off problems with the water seeping. So they're still doing that, but I know they're gonna wanna push for this year if they can. But we'll see. Not much work, not much back from them this month at least, so.
Elaine, I did talk to Jeff right away, sent the pictures. Did they do anything with the,
So is this gonna be every year that they're gonna do this to us? So they mowed the outside, but the field, I mean, the solar field where the panels are, they haven't mowed that once yet. I mean, it's crazy. So every year, do we have to remind them that they have to maintain the grass?
what is the requirements?
So it was in no way defending them at all. That they had the inside, the conservation district took that as like an area where they tilled the soils and they did the different things. So it was allowed to grow up to, I think it was anywhere from, I'm throwing out numbers, but it was anywhere from 12 inches to 24 inches before they had to mow. It was a very random, but I know for a fact we met with them to get that more often because it was just.
I mean, it's as high, so when the panels tip, the grass is like, I did take pictures. It is up to the,
Touching the bottom of the panels.
and above, yes. Yeah.
That's probably at least 2-3 feet right there.
That's gonna affect performance. I would think they would address that.
So I do know that they brought that, it was strange because inside the fence, most of that kind of falls under their permitting area. But the conservation district was open to modifying that. I don't remember where that landed on that part of it, but I can double check it and get that in there, yeah.
I mean, as a
The
farmer,
outside is supposed to be the maintain it as if it's a
I
property.
mean, they mowed it. I mean, it might be like, they mowed it maybe like a foot high. You know, they had the mower deck pretty high up and they mowed it. And there's so many trees, if you drive out there, there's so many trees that are dying again. I just don't understand that we have to constantly, every year now, be reminding them, hey, mow your grass. You know, you didn't want to farm it, but now we have to remind you to mow your grass. I don't,
Yeah, I think it was property owner was supposed to be doing the maintenance from what
Yeah.
they were told, we were told.
That was my understanding.
But he'll still responsible, correct?
Correct.
So find out what the requirements are. Let's
Yeah, I will,
a little tune up here with them.
yeah, I'll send out an email tonight or tomorrow to say, we want an update of where that stands. And try to get that into our end of policing that a little better. Yeah. I'm sorry.
it looks bad enough, and then yet the grass is growing up really high around it. It's just that everybody you talk to, it's an eyesore. Oh, yeah, you live out by the eyesore. Yeah, we do. You know, it's horrible.
Yeah, I'll get that so that this year we can figure out what that is and get that schedule in line with whoever's looking at the property maintenance part of it. But there was a difference between in the fence and out of the fence as far as the permitting. But I know they
thought we
modified.
addressed this last year. I think they agreed that they were gonna cut it more off. Maybe they forgot about that already.
No, they were going to, the only caveat there was that the inside was permit, so they had to get their blessing technically from the conservation district, which hasn't been very quick on anything, but that's not, I mean, it should be straight away. Yeah, I'll copy of the emails here so you see it moving forward and get an idea of
Yeah, we should
what
have
those
those.
changes are. I agree.
All right.
Would they be in violation of their NPDES permit or any other conservation district permit if they are too high?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we could probably, well, the conservation district's enforcement is very weak. I don't know what other word to use, but I think the township, if we can enforce the stormwater on that approved plan, that's probably a
Okay,
quicker
let's take
process.
a look at what the notes are.
Yeah, I think they amended that mowing schedule that was on there to allow for a shorter, but yeah, I know they agreed to keeping it at a lower height, so that's not happening. I just have to look at those approvals to see what happened there. So then the next on the list there is the road work. We opened that today. There's actually 5 bidders, which is pretty high. The numbers were pretty well in line with our estimate. There were just a few $1,000s on each one of them under, but the result was Allen Myers was the low bid. We did a base bid and then an alternate. The base bid didn't include Farmer's Drive. The alternate did include. The base bid stayed within the, I think the
300,000.
300,000, and then the other alternate bid was 332,000, basically 333,000. So there's an additional 33 to get Farmer's Drive added. That was about $50,000 to do that road. Everything that was submitted was acceptable. So again, the numbers are where we expected them to be, a little better. So it would come down to if the board would want to stay in that 300,000 or pay a little more for Farmer's Drive to get topped this year as well. I can't really speak to what the accounts were for the money there. I thought it was something about Robbie's Road.
The tar and chipping they weren't going to be doing, so the money that was budgeted for tar and chip, and I don't remember if it was $20,000 or $30,000 or something like that, that he wanted to use towards Farmer's Drive because they wanted
Yeah,
to do
Robbie
that
says
shit.
he has additional funds
Yeah,
available to do this out of his budget, if we want to do Farmers Drive. That's it.
I'm okay, I just wouldn't go overboard this year. I think it's gonna be as costly as it was in the last couple of years. And maybe I'm just optimistic that it's gonna come down. But
I just think it would be a good idea to have Farmers Drive done when the construction starts.
Do you think they're gonna bust it up with the construction? No, and I realize they're gonna pay for it, but are we putting
I think,
good money after
I don't
bad?
know that they're gonna break it. I mean, that road has a pretty good base on it. It's one of the few in the townships that has a decent base on it. I guess you can take a risk. But I don't think it would be a bad idea to do it and get it over with.
I'm okay either way. I just don't want to do $400,000 worth. I want this being 330, ending up being 380.
Yeah, well, I don't think, I can imagine if we see that kind of cost overrun this year.
I don't either. I mean, one of the things we could do is some of the base repair that we have in there on certain roads, just make sure we're doing exactly what we need to and not add anything to it.
Well, I want to do this job right.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
want to
mean,
skimp on it, rather just skimp on the road if we. I'm good with either way, if that's what Robbie wants to do.
Yeah, I
Just
think-
know we used our fuel, all our fuel well, we're down there to the bare minimum.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't exhaust his fund. We not even be using half of what he has left over. But he needs some of that to do some pipe repair
Yeah.
and so, but he was confident that he would be okay if we did Farmers Drive.
Then I'm okay. I mean, that's what we have these guys thinking about. So do we make a?
it would be a motion to award the alternate bid to Allen Myers for the $332,969.05.
I'll make that motion.
I was like,
All in favor?
By the way, that did include paving the dirt road portion of Gift Road. So
we got, we got to talk about that. We're gonna do some work before that.
I think there's 2 pipes on that road.
Yeah.
Okay, similar to street work, this was in the spec. This is a resolution that basically says PennDOT's manual kind of has a threshold for what they see as small projects and say that the adjustment, basically for the price of oil, they allow you to do the adjustment if the prices go up or down, so there might be a credit one way or another. They cap that at 100 liquid ton of asphalt. So what they see as a small project is a very typical budget for Richmond or other places. So the resolution simply says if it's less than that 100, we still abide by that, by the index. So that way you get your competitive bidding and no one's hedging their bets in case oil goes up and down or anything. We had that in there, and PennDOT says as long as you have it in there and you pass the resolution before you do the work, then we're okay with that. So
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Sheets. I'll do a quick summary of what's going on here, because there's actually two escrows that they're asking for. One was the new building that they put up. That work is basically complete. They haven't given us an as-built drawing and they haven't closed out their permits completely. So we retained what worked out to be $10,000 for that work. And we are recommending the release of what remains, and that would be a pretty good number, $843,000 and change. And we'll jump back to that, but we're completely comfortable with that recommendation right now. The other one was the previous project when they, if you remember, they kind of did a building addition, put the parking lot in the back. They never got the escrow release for that, and they've torn that all down and started over again. So that $45,000 and change, they're looking for that to be released as well. They had a bond being held, and Jen confirmed that you still have that
Yes.
on record. So there's two motions for the board, and that is to authorize the escrow release in full for the 2019 project of $45,336.64.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
And then the other one is for authorization to release escrow release number 1 in the amount of $843,160.39.
Do we have any, we're retaining anything out of that?
That retains $10,000. Yeah, there was about $3,000 in the escrow for the as-bills,
Okay.
but then we're leaving a little in there for basically to cover our time to go through the paperwork, but also to verify that they close out the permit or they're in process of doing so.
So we're covered.
That leaves $10,000 in their escrow still.
And the as-built, they still need that.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
And then the only other item is Crystal Cave Road subdivision. It's a large property, and I can't remember the other road that it intersects up there. But they have a recommendation from the planning commission for approval of this. But since it's just a subdivision, it'd be a one-time approval, not a preliminary final. They're waiting until they get their HOP permit because they need one for the new driveway they're putting out on the road. Once they have that, then they'll be back. They'll be in front of the board just to show you what they're doing, but they needed an extension. So their extension they're offering is to August 18th, 2026. And I think typically the board accepts those.
Do you know where that's at? Do you know where it's at?
Yeah.
Is it Crystal
Crystal
Cave and
Cave.
Crystal Ridge?
Crystal Ridge Road, there's an intersection with T there. Their farm's starting to cross there. They graze cattle there. So, yeah, they're subdividing. What is there?
On the south side of that intersection, there's a field
Field, yeah.
that has an elevated section to it that it took them a little time, but they got that removed from the floodplain. So they went through everything they needed to have a revision to the floodplain. So they have that removed, so they're basically I think they're subdividing it for their kids to build a house.
Yeah.
So,
And that property is shared between us and Greenwich Township, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right on the line.
Mhm. But the house is gonna be in Richmond Township.
And that's at Crystal Ridge.
Crystal Cave,
Yeah, I know where that's at.
yeah, it's in the back, basically Virginville.
Yeah, I know where
It's
that's
like
at.
on T there.
I think Dr.
Bridge used to live back there.
Yeah, Dr. Hickman, right on the corner there.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember, yep. So I know where that's at.
I think when you're heading west towards Greenwich on Crystal Cave Road, I think that's the one. Crystal Ridge kind of comes from the north.
Yep, comes down.
So as you're going Crystal Cave, you can actually, right before they meet, there's a field to the left, to the south. And you can see there's a path that leads back there already, so.
I make a motion to do the extension.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
If there's any questions, that was my list.
Good.
Hey, Chris. Okay, so, the board had authorized us to file liens on three of these outstanding accounts that are marked on your report. Have you got any news about any payment on those, or we just liens?
No, the only one that I got was the one who had the payment plan on, and that had gotten down to, I think, $100 or $200 left on that. So,
So what I intend to do, based on the failure of the property owners that we just leaned to follow through with payments, would be to go ahead and file those DJ complaints. I think the board already had authorized that, but we were waiting until after we had filed the liens and wanted to see if there was any reaction from the property owners. So it's okay with the board, we'll go ahead and file those DJ complaints. Is that still okay with the board?
Yeah.
All right. So that leaves two accounts that we could take action on. One is, I think that 393 Park Road, that was just foreclosed on.
yes,
And so some of this balance goes back to the prior owner. Did we send a letter to the mortgage company and we didn't hear anything?
correct, yes. 2 letters to them, and they have not responded.
All right, so I would recommend that we file a lien on that 393 Park Road. It's held by the mortgage company, and send a copy of the lien to the mortgage company just to try to get their attention. You know, I'm confident they'll resell the property and we'll get paid, but rather get the money sooner than later.
Yep.
So do you agree to file a lien on that?
Yeah, I would say you guys would go with that, yeah.
All right, and then the other one that could be acted on is 1015 Pleasant Hill Road. And you sent a letter to that owner as well, and also got no response.
No response.
He wants to update the lien on that.
What do you guys think?
Typically building over 1,000.
Yes.
It's been there for quite a while.
Yeah, so I think that's,
I mean, I don't, this one's been on the list for a while. I don't know if it's on and off the list. I don't have, I mean, the name is familiar to me, so I suspect this one is on and off.
I would think it's probably timely.
So anyway, we'll take it a step at a time. You know, Jen has sent letters, there's been no response. I would say let's file the liens, send the filed liens to the property owner, see if that triggers any reaction. And then if not, in a month or so, I'll come back and ask you about filing a DJP. All right, so do I have your authorization to file a lien for that one as well?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so, next item, PennDOT. Sam and I had a lengthy discussion with PennDOT reps, and I think there were about 6 people on that call, so
Quite a few.
about the shared use path, and I think there are some different expectations about what should be occurring.
Yeah, I was kind of taken back by their not recalling our original conversation. Because it was the same people that we were dealing with.
So what I heard from them is they view this as a bicycle and pedestrian path
Yeah, and
only.
then where that came from. Because we went through the same thing up the Richmond Circle, where they were viewing that as pedestrian. I said, the pedestrians never cross 222 there. So because they want to do the single lights and everything up there. When we sat here last summer and talked about this, I mean, this whole pedestrian thing, that never came up in the conversation. So maybe I was to assume that they were talking about pedestrians, but that's not what we were talking about. We clearly talked about them using crossing 222 with the horse and buggy. That was the hardship they were creating. And, I sometime during that conversation, I thought maybe they were confusing this with someone else they talked to about something else, because I'm like, this isn't at all what we discussed the first time around. But, and I know that they had remembered some of the things we talked about, because we talked about having access to maintain it, to plow snow on it, having the width that we required. But then when we got to the whole bi-directional thing, we ultimately came up with a decent solution for it. But them saying that they treat horse and buggy traffic as cars, but they can't do that. I mean, we're talking about, black and white here.
To me, that just seemed, that was very frustrating to me that they wanted to say that they're just like cars.
Yes.
They're not.
They're
Just
not.
cars.
So ultimately, we're talking about a joint use path that goes on the south and north side, basically starting from the adult bookstore going to Osgood's, so that they can cross there and come north to south after the new highway is completed. Where we got hung up is they, for some reason, came back and said, well, this joint use path is, we're not going to allow horse and buggies on it. I said, who's going to use it? Well, foot traffic. There's no foot traffic.
No.
So we actually did come up with a resolution, because they didn't want to do bi-directionally. They couldn't pay for the real estate that they had to do with the engineering to make it wide enough so the two buggies could go. So what they're going to do is have the shoulder for one direction, the joint use path for the other direction.
Right. So
Perfect.
So bicycles and pedestrians can go both directions, north
Correct.
and south. But for buggies, they have to go, they can use the shared use path south to north.
Correct.
But then when they're traveling north to south is when they use the shoulder, and they would go to the east, that'd be north, wherever
It actually is east and west, but
That's what I was.
technically north and south, so. And then there was a discussion about, how you going to enforce it. I said, you don't have to enforce it. These people are common sense. You tell them this is the way they need to do it, that's so great, they'll do it. So it turned out to be a little bit of a lot about nothing. But, my concern is they had done some stupid things, like they had made a hard 90 at the end of it by Osgood's where we couldn't get in to plow snow. And I think we resolved all of that, because ultimately we have to maintain it. So that was one of my concerns. And my other big concern was the fact that that they were making it that, we couldn't, they weren't going to be wide enough that you couldn't do, pass to, but we resolved that with the north.
And the other thing was the electronic signal. Now, they designed it to have a push button signal when somebody is gonna use the shared use path. And the same view is that if you have to get off your buggy and push a button, it's not gonna get used, people are just gonna drive through.
Yeah.
So what we suggested was that they investigate having like a motion detector trigger the signal. And that gives a warning to drivers on 222 that somebody's coming through the shared use path. So I think it's a good safety measure if it is practical. And
That seems like a good idea.
so they were going to investigate that.
My argument is if you're going to make it manually operated,
No one's gonna.
forget about it.
Forget it.
Nobody's going to do
No one's getting off the horse and buggy.
it. No, but even if there was pedestrian traffic, they're still not going to use it.
You still don't, you have traffic signals that don't push the button when you need to.
Yeah.
So,
So- And then ultimately, we're responsible for maintaining this too. So the whole thing was moved out of the direction I didn't go. But I said, if they can automate it, which they can do, that's not rocket science. And then I think it would have some.
Right. So they still, in the end, I don't think they're ever gonna put it in writing that they said it was okay for buggies, but they did agree, as I heard them,
Yeah.
that they would not prohibit it, and they would not sign a prohibition on buggies. But I don't think we're ever gonna get a blessing. And they were gonna do an engineering review of the signal about automating it. So I think we're waiting for them at this point to update their proposed, how they're gonna design the project.
Yeah, I think other than that, we're good. Other than they have to come up with a better triggering mechanism for that. And then we'll be fine.
So I think that's the update on the shared use agreement. Next one is a roundabout agreement, and I just read your minutes, said I was gonna bring that for you to sign tonight. I didn't do that, so I'm not real disappointed that it's not signed yet. I think we'll just bring that along next month and you can sign it down.
That's for Richmond.
Yes, right. And then, they did revise that to match what we have this one, so that they're gonna pay for the signage and the pavement markings, just like they are in this one. So perfect. It's no worse than the one we already have. And then the last one is, the cattle crossing is not really the agreement. Cattle crossing is the permit that's already existing, that they want us to sign an agreement with PennDOT saying that we are responsible for the maintenance of it. And before the meeting, we talked a little bit about how we're trying to eliminate any unnecessary permits that might still be active as far as PennDOT is concerned. And that's on 662 with Schleichel's Farm with the cattle crossing. 2 of the 3 active permits in the township are for that crossing. And if they don't need it and are willing to give it up, there's a process to eliminate that permit. If Schleichel says he wants to keep it, then I would suggest that we ask that they enter an agreement with us that they're gonna pay for the cost of maintenance, so that we're not saddled with that maintenance cost.
And I'll have that conversation.
And then the third permit is at the Bittler Dairy Farm. They have a cattle crossing too. It's interesting to me, the only electronic permits in the township are 3 cattle crossing permits. But the one at Bittler's, there is an agreement with the township from East Penn, that East Penn will agree, or has agreed to maintain it. So I don't know if that one's being used or not. I don't really care, because East Penn is responsible for it if there's a problem. So what PennDOT is waiting for from the township is you're signing an agreement that says whenever and wherever there are traffic signal permits in the township, you are agreeing to be the permittee and agreeing to maintain them. I think what we should do is, first of all, figure out how many of these permits we really need to be responsible for before we sign that agreement. So if Sam follows up on that, then we can see where we're at.
Should we talk to Phoebe as well?
Yeah, I would recommend that we, if you want to talk to Phoebe also, just to see if it's still being used.
Yeah.
If it's not, then maybe we can get rid of all of these permits. Maybe PennDOT doesn't even need the agreement at this time if there are no open signal permits in the township. I mean,
Good idea.
that would be the best outcome.
I recall seeing one at Phoebe, but I don't go that
Yeah,
rarely.
I can't picture the other somewhere.
Sure, I mean, so I know. That was, that was,
See, I know out there at Biddler's, they used to turn it on like when they bring the cows across from the milk house to the farm side. But I mean, all the times that I go out there, I think they put it in just because of the DECA traffic.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, that's why it's there.
Yeah.
That's why DEC is paying for it, because
Right.
they're creating a hazard with their traffic.
Right,
I mean,
Yeah.
It's the deck of vehicles that it has in the car, especially
Right.
shift change.
Yeah.
Deck of 500.
That's
Wow.
that's a good one.
That's what we
Deck
call
of
it there.
500.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
All right, that's all I know
Yep.
about those topics. Is there anything else?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Review the monthly road reports. I don't have any questions. You guys have any questions?
No. No.
I've been following up with Robbie quite a bit on that, so we're good.
Um, Secretary Treasurer report.
Okay, in the general fund, we have check numbers 12365 to 12403, including EFTs for $387,571.58.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
State fund, there were no checks. Light fund, there were no checks. Sewer fund, check numbers 3400 to 3404, including EFTs for $36,793.99.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Walnut Town Fire Escrow, check numbers 2205 and 2206 for $5,429.51.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Virginville Fire Escrow, check numbers 2210 to 2212 for $26,407.88.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
The next item, we're going to move it till next month. Michelle is working on the resolution for the destruction of the right to know requests. I have not received that yet, so we'll push that till next month. I do have, Albright College is looking for contribution for their Center of Excellence in Local Government. Municipal contributions for 2026, last year we did give $150.
I'm okay with that.
I think it's a good program.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any of their programs?
Yes, I have. I've gone to a few of the trainings over there.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
No second.
All in favor?
Next item is to review some of the quotes I got for the sewer billing. I did have demos on all three of the items on here, the Diversified, the Edmunds GovTech, and Vadar Systems. Edmunds GovTech is nice, but that's more of if you need more utilities, need permitting, etc. That's like the whole package, not just for sewer itself. I don't care for the actual software. It does not give you enough reports. It also takes a 1-year implementation time for them to get everything set up. Diversified technology, I think I've stated it before that Maiden Creek Township uses that one. The actual package is very nice, allows you to run all types of reports. It does give you alerts when you receive payments. It gives you alerts from settlement companies when they want to have the actual finals for when the houses sell. Those actually come in on alerts for you. It's a really nice package. That company takes about 2 billing cycles to set everything up. And I think I have on here that they're willing to do the $375 per month for 36 payments on that one. Vadar Systems, I did do a demo on that, and I was not real impressed with their system, especially with their reports and the ability to put any kind of liens or penalties or interest. It was very confusing to do that. It was not a simple process.
So the $375 a month, is that just for 36 months and then you're done, or is there an annual subscription?
There is an annual subscription on there, and that's on their quote, which is the annual subscription after that will be $1,000 per year. And right now we're paying $1,500 approximately per year per PAMS.
Was there an initial buy-in for payments? Or was
No.
it just straight?
No,
That's just straight, because they keep all the penalties.
That's where they make the
Well,
money.
that's where they make, I think I would imagine we can make $375 of the month in penalties.
and I did notice, I told Sam about it on our website. If you go onto our website and go under public sewer, there's actually a link to Pam's website that they can actually, any resident can go on and pay their bill electronically from that portal. But they must have their actual invoice in front of them with their account number. They can actually see what their bill is, but there's penalties and interest on it that's been added on to that. Unless they actually sign up for an actual account on Pam's, even though they have the invoice, they won't see how much the penalty is worth versus what the actual quarterly payment is due.
With that diversified technology.
Yes.
Can you set up an online payment system?
Yes, yes, and they actually have they actually have a portal specifically for residents to go on there to make payments. They can do credit cards, electronics, they can come in and make payments. They have scanners that they can just, scan their invoice. You can send out invoices, you can do letters on there if there's lien letters. They have all kinds of information on the website.
So it says data conversion and system setup. Will they take the data that you have from Pam's?
Yes. Yeah,
Are they
I've
gonna-
already.
If we quit Pam's, are they gonna release that stuff pretty freely, or?
Well, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before last, we were going to release it and go with another company. They had sent me the actual spreadsheet with all the customers. They were very nice about it, said this is, the setup, and kind of fell through the cracks, and they, very nice about the transition. But I still have that database with all that information, which is what I sent over to Diversified, and they said, yeah, it would take about 2 billing cycles, just to make sure that the penalties and interest that we have on the system now would transfer over to their system.
What do we offer as far as method of payment now? Does Pam's offer?
Pam's offers anything, EFTs, credit cards, checks, all that,
They do.
yes, yeah. And then, of course, it's just their percentage or whatever that gets added onto there.
That's so important.
Yeah.
You gotta make it,
Yeah, everybody
And credit cards.
pays electronically.
yeah, everybody pays. It's
Yeah.
It's trending that way all more and more and more.
Yeah,
It's a risk to put a check in it.
I tell it to my parents all the time, like, I've been doing online bills since '94, never had an issue. But my mother, she thinks that's so dangerous, and says, you have more chance of somebody swiping stuff out of the mailbox, especially at the end of your lane. But I might as well call it. I don't think I'm gonna change, but yeah, I think that's, so how, like, if someone pays or sends you stuff, you have to actually receive the checks and do the deposits and all that stuff.
right, yeah.
Will you have a scanner here to
Yes.
scan to the bank?
Yep.
That you don't have to run?
Correct, yeah, we have a scanner here for all the checks and everything. If there's somebody with cash, of course, I run to the bank for cash, but if there's anything else, yeah, we have a scanner here for that.
We have one now?
Yes,
Oh, nice. That's awesome. We don't even go to the branch. Ever. Ever. I mean, that's crazy. We just don't.
yeah.
So, and what's your thoughts? Do you think you want to tackle the diversified? Do you want to do this? Is that something you think labor-wise we can handle?
I think so. There are not as many, I don't want to say customers, as many residents that have this. It's not going to be overwhelming. I really don't believe it's going to be overwhelming.
Even if we have to do a little part-time or something, get a little help in here. I think getting it in-house and under control would be, it'd be interesting to know what the penalties are that they collect.
More than you think.
More than you think. I mean, that's why it's $1,500 a year.
It's just, it seems more often than not, they just started doing, if there's, somebody calls for a sewer certification, we have a $25 charge for sewer certification. They just sent me an email last month that, from now on, we're gonna charge you $25. So not only is the township asking for $25 for it, they're asking for $25 for it because they have to do extra work for it. to just give me a piece of paper. And it's not within an hour or two of requesting. Sometimes it's the same day, sometimes it's the next day. And these people are like, well, it does not say, this says, like the closing days say it's June 1st. Well, this says the closing day is April. So how much am I gonna have to pay between April and June? And it says on there, well, there might be prorated, there might be another bill that comes out. It's never exactly, this is what you have to pay down to the, I'm always getting questions on that. They're just not exact and not just,
It would be nice to have control of the information.
yeah,
Definitely would be nice, because
Yeah.
I think we pay Chris's firm to decipher it sometimes.
right, exactly. And this will give you, this can give you the reports as to how much everybody's paying, when they're paying it, how often they're paying it, and the total on their account. So it's a lot of nice reports that are coming off that system.
My thinking is that once you have the data
Yeah.
and the system,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be pretty easy.
I'm thinking so too.
Yeah.
Nothing's as easy as it all seems.
No,
But I think definitely, you would definitely capable of it if you have enough.
And it's only a quarterly billing, so it's not like it's getting billed every month or anything, so.
And if you have little issues, especially if Maple Creek has the same system,
Right,
it's probably helpful if they're using it for
Yeah.
a while and understand it.
do they offer any discount if you buy the system cash?
I did not happen to ask that. Okay.
And we can keep the same late fees and stuff as Pam's. Just collect it internally.
Yeah. It's nice because if we do sign up for, like, somebody does the payment plan, like the one that we had just had, you can actually click on there and like hold the actual penalties, hold the interest. You can make comments in there and then, okay, wait, when was the last time they paid? They haven't paid it in a while. Okay, penalties and interest are going back on again. Very, very simple system to do. Very user friendly.
And what's the timing with Pam's
Pam's,
contract?
contract is August 30th, I think, very last day of August.
So do you think timing for this will be okay?
I'm going to verify and double check that we can do it because they say it needs 2 billing cycles, so I'm gonna see if we can finagle something with Rich over Pam's if we decide to do that. If they're, if it has to go for the next, billing month or something, if they'll be able to transition something and we go from there.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, the number looks big, but then when you break it out by month, I'm thinking we're gonna make that,
Pretty quick.
the penalties or save that, or however you wanna do it, it'll pay for itself. And
Right.
the control would be awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
Oh, if we'd have accurate reports that Chris's firm doesn't have to decipher it for us,
Right,
it's a
right.
mess. Yeah, I make the motion that we go with this proposal from Diversified Technologies and let Jen handle the timing between Pam's and what she needs to get done.
Okay,
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
and I will ask them about it if there's any discounts, if it's
Yeah.
paid by cash.
At a minimum, this is okay if there's a discount.
Right,
Make
Okay.
it
doesn't hurt that.
work. But it's nice to break it out that way. In my mind, that's makes sense. Review the 2025 audit. I went over it with Roxanne here. Very thorough job. They have no real issues here. I don't even think they had comments. Did they have comments on anything
Not really.
other than there's one person, so it's a little bit limited with controls, but there's no way to get around that.
That's standard, they're gonna have that every year.
Yeah, because we only have one person,
So
but
no recommendation.
with
Yeah.
with the stuff we do here and signing the bank records and all that, she's very pleased. My only question for you, Chris, is I think it's very expensive for what it is. I mean, Jen does a great job, and I brought that point up before, but I think there's limited people. Is there a lesser audit? I mean, are they giving us all the bells and whistles, or is there a lesser that we get away with the minimum?
It's getting increasingly difficult to find firms that are willing to do these municipal audits. there's not really any good options. And what.
Because I think it went up 50% in the last 6 years.
Yeah. It's that way everywhere. They're just, there used to be some competition. Now municipalities are scrambling to find somebody to do it.
And we're
Price
required,
reflects it.
and we're required because of pen testing.
Yeah, as long as you have any kind of borrowed money, you have to have a CPA audit. So you're stuck with that process. We can come up with a list of all of the different auditors that we work with.
But they're probably all the same boat. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
is this like a reviewed audit? Is this what we need, or is there a minimum base package? I mean, they're in here with 3 people, and like, all this stuff is good. And there's 200 municipalities in the state that don't even do this. They just do have auditors come in and sit around the table, which I'm not sure, I that's not what I'm suggesting. But what is it, $18,000? Or $12,000? $12,000.
12,000.
It's like a lot of money for what it is.
Yeah, it is, but I don't, like I said, I think that's the price at this point for the scale of operation that you have. Bigger municipalities pay twice as much or more. So,
I get it, I just don't agree with it. But that was my only comment. They do a great job. I mean, if you look at the book and you look at all the stuff, but Jen, I said, what's our reward for Jen doing an awesome job versus, but maybe then it would be 18,000 if we had a shitty job. I guess I should just be.
Your report is your capacity audit.
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, and
That's my only comment.
Should I make it worth their while next
No,
time?
You're supposed to see screws
I'm
yourself
just
up.
thinking they do a good job and we get, I mean, they come in here just as easy peasy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but maybe if it would be a hassle, the next year's
Right.
quote would be 18,000.
or they say they won't do it at all.
That's my only comment. Good job again, Jen. So,
It's a tough situation. I know some municipalities that have real low budget audits, and it's not worth the paper's print on. It's just not a good product. I mean, you're paying a substantial amount here, but you are getting a quality product.
it is called a product. I mean, it's,
You like with anything, you get what you pay for. And also, I don't know if this is relevant or not, but if you were to consider a larger capital project at some point, you never will, but if you did, like some places decide to, accelerate their road programs, for example, and borrow some money so that they can do more roads more quickly. Having this documentation over an extended period of time is going to help you to qualify for funding. So there is a value in having a store of this information that can be reviewed in the future if you ever want to do any capital financing.
all right. Just thought I'd ask.
No magic bullets.
In the big scheme of thing again, it's just still $12,000. And for the hours that, I don't know how many hours they put in. All right, that's it for that.
Okay, and the last thing here is the bi-yearly service contract with Smart Guys for the IT for $475.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Renew it. All in favor? Aye.
That's all I have.
I have no other issues. You guys have anything? Comments from the floor? Make a motion, have we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thanks for making it an audience.
Yep.
Hung in there to the end.
Oh, wait.
Before you go, I just want to show you something, Mark. I'm gonna get your comment.
Maybe you're surviving.
Well, wait till the.
Do you remember we had a conversation with the people from Echo Hill in here? They were talking about